feel we should acquire some better lighting. Yeah, this room is so dark I can barely see anything. Yeah, we definitely need better lighting here. I glance at the chandelier, which is beautifully draped in sparkling crystals, but it provides little light. It's bright enough with sunlight, but your guests may find it more difficult as evening falls. I turn to Mr. Amesbury, only to find him gazing at me with a smile. Mr. Amesbury, you do not seem to be focused on the task at hand. It is impossible to do so when you are so much more distracting than anything else. Mrs. Peaks would not favor such talk between us alone. Then I am most grateful she's not here. But I apologize. I asked you here to help, and you are doing so most efficiently. I shall note down better lighting. Would your family be pleased to know you're holding such an event? Most certainly. Though I wonder if my father would not keel over from shock. That I would make an effort in society at all will give him false hope that I might try harder in the future. And what of you? Helping me with this will surely gain you some favor amongst our peers. I'm not doing this for their benefits. It may surprise you to learn I'm not helping with this for society's acceptance. I confess, it surprises me a little. You at least seem to be trying to blend in with the ranks of good society. Something Arabella would be most pleased to hear you say. Obviously your friend's opinion ranks higher than that of society's? Of course. Good. Footsteps down by the door and Amesbury glances towards it. That's not exactly what I was thinking. You know, I'm not doing it for my friend or for society. I'm doing it for you, Mr. Amesbury. That's why I'm helping you. I like you, not party planning. Indeed, it is our friends that help make us the people we are. And I wouldn't be quite so boring if it weren't for Pierce's most studious tutoring. At that moment, Mr. Montfort walks through the door, a book partly open in one of his hands. If only you were half as humorous as you think you are, Lawrence, we may be doubled over in laughter. Mr. Amesbury chuckles and pulls Mr. Montfort further into the room. Oh, come now, you find me most hilarious in private company. I'm loath to agree to such, but you are quite right. I'd best get the list of the staff. I'll only be a few moments. He throws a lingering smile in my direction before disappearing out the door. It's been many years since I've seen him so bright. It must be your influence, Miss Bennet. I noticed his smile drop at the statement, and I frowned in confusion. Well, I'm sure he's simply excited for the upcoming gathering. I find that highly unlikely due to Lawrence's continual shunning of any kind of public gathering. Until you came along, of course. Whatever the reason, I'm glad to see him so happy. Yes, though I wish he could find the company of his old friends quite so riveting. You are an incredibly headstrong woman, Miss Bennet. Not an appealing quality to all people, but very magnetizing to my friend who has a similar mindset. I do not mean that as a slight, at all. I just wished... The sound of the door makes us both flinch, the strange tension that had filled the room, thankfully disappearing with Mr. Amesbury's return. Sorry for taking so long. I was accosted by Mrs. Peaks, who was actually hoping to get your opinion on something, Pierce. Of course, I would never like to keep a lady waiting. Mr. Montfort's gaze shifts to me for a moment, a frown knotting his brow. Then he smiles politely, bows, and strides from the room. I take an uncertain breath as soon as he's gone, thankful it is once again just me and Mr. Amesbury. Is everything alright? I've only been gone a moment, and it seems like the air has grown dreadfully heavy. I glance at Mr. Amesbury, his brown eyes sparkling in the sunlight bursting through the windows. Mr. Montfort said some strange things. I'm not sure how to continue. He didn't offend you, did he? I promise it was not his intention. He is far too stuck in society's ways to even realize his words. No, it's nothing. I let out a sharp breath, thinking better of saying anything. That's a relief to hear. Okay, that seems like a bad option. Let's choose a different option. I'll say I'm happy to go back. I'm happy to go back to helping you. I'm simply happy to return to preparations with you. I'm glad to hear that. It's just... I wouldn't want you and Pierce to be getting off on the wrong foot. He is, after all, my closest friend, and you are... He cuts his words short, and I catch my breath in anticipation of what he is going to say. Yes? You must know what I mean to say. How can I when you did not finish? My skin prickles with excitement as he steps closer. His warm breath washes over me as he leans close, his gaze flickering between my eyes and my lips. Miss Bennet. I can barely hear him over the thudding of my heart. He leans closer. He leans further towards me, his body achingly close to mine, his arms moving to wrap about me. I believe you'll be needing this. I glanced down to see that he'd simply reached behind me to retrieve the book I'd been using for reference. Oh no, come on, you were giving me a romantic hug there. Oh, don't tease me like that, Mr. Amesbury. Oh no, oh no. No, no. He throws me a teasing smirk before turning to face the room. I shake my head and smile, still trying to still the racing of my heart. He was going to say, I want you to get along with him because he's my best friend and you are my beloved. Over the next few weeks, Mr. Amesbury and I spend nearly every day in each other's company. I'm sure every day he almost kisses me, but doesn't. Mr. Montfort helps on occasion, although usually he tends to call Mr. Amesbury away to discuss other details. Mr. Amesbury splits his time between us the best that he can. I'm just glad to enjoy the stretches of time we do have together. Planning the event is certainly no chore, though it takes longer than expected due to our continual conversations. Finally, it's the day of the gathering, and I've arranged to meet Arabella and Ernest in the afternoon before heading to Amesbury's for any final preparations. Oh, Catherine, you made it. Of course, you thought I would not. You've been rather busy helping Mr. Amesbury. The suggestive tone to her voice makes my cheeks flush pink, and I glance away. I have merely been aiding with the gathering you had longed for, and I am indeed looking most forward to it later this evening. Her hand falls on Ernest, who I notice does not draw away from the touch, even in the public setting. It is quite the talk amongst everyone. I hope you're prepared for so many curious people. I hope as well. Bright laughter envelops us, and we settle down to enjoy our tea. Oh, do excuse me, ladies. It seems my fellow officers have arrived. He stands from his place and gives a well-practiced bow before striding off to meet up with the uniformed men who just walked in. Arabella shifts her chair a little closer, her touch transferring to me as she now takes my hand. Well, now we are alone, you must tell me everything. I don't know what you could mean. Oh, Catherine, you cannot fool me with such innocence. I've barely seen you these past weeks, and when I have, you've spoken of little but your Mr. Amesbury. Really? I didn't mean to do such. It's not a bad thing, quite the opposite, in fact. It's kept me smiling to know you're so happy of late. Even if that happiness is due to someone who's rather more bold than I would like. When you find someone who enriches your life, do not let them go. I notice her gaze slides past me, her focus now trained on Ernest. And the man smiles brightly at her attention, and the two seem lost to each other for a moment. She shakes her head slightly to break her gazing. Oh, Arabella and I are both falling in love. Plus, I do believe Mr. Amesbury must be your good luck charm. Oh, how so? You have not had one run-in or scandalous letter from the society swindler since you began helping Mr. Amesbury. That's right. She sounds almost disappointed, but I realize she's right. That's true, I'd almost forgotten about him. It's been so long. It has. No one sort of peeped from the bandit in a long while. Maybe he grew tired of this game. Or maybe he could see how fond you have grown of someone else and simply realized his attentions would not work. No matter how many flowers or sweets he sends. But enough of strangers. Are you seeing Mr. Amesbury today? Yes, I'm to head there soon, in fact. But it's been some time since I've spoken to Mr. Amesbury. Maybe Ernest and I could collect you later and we'll walk home together. A wonderful idea, Arabella. A truly wonderful idea. And with that decided, I give her a hug, say my goodbye to Ernest, and head to the Crescent and Mr. Amesbury's residence.